Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining us here for Studio 512. It's sweater weather. It's fall. It got cool overnight, and we are so excited. Good morning, Steph.
Good morning, Rosie. You said some magic words there, sweater weather, but it's also soup weather. Couple of my favorite things. Add sourdough to that mix, and boom, it's the trifecta of Monday goodness. Joining us today with a little slice of comfort is our friend Meriann Sanford from Sanford Sourdough Bakery. Good morning, Meriann.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Meriann. And we want to know, because we actually got tipped off by a viewer to get in touch with you because that viewer loves visiting you guys so much. Can you tell us a little bit about Sanford Sourdough Bakery and how you and your hubby Dave got started?
Yes, and that is so sweet that a customer did that. I still don't know who it was, but I want to find out. So my husband and I are from Northern California, and we grew up eating sourdough bread from San Francisco. And we moved out here about 2.5 years ago, and I'd been making Sanford sourdough bread just for my family for years, just as a way to save money and eat healthy, and we would share it with friends and family. And when we moved out here 2.5 years ago to Texas, we did the same thing. We'd share it with family and neighbors and friends, and they finally convinced us that it was time for us to start selling our bread. We're not formally trained bakers. We just know good food, and we're so used to the taste of San Francisco style sourdough that we said, okay, let's see if we can sell 6 loaves in a week. And we did. And then it grew to 24 loaves. And then we were in some farmers markets, and it built and built and built for the last year. And in January 2020, we were able to open up our bakery here in Round Rock.
Oh, so awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. A terrible year to open a bakery or any sort of business, but you guys are doing a great job at it, because I was in there yesterday and you guys were wheeling and dealing and had a lot of like really beautiful things that I just wanted to get in there and try. I'm happy that you guys are having some success. I know that this has probably been a bit of a tough year, right?
Yes, it's been, I think there's a learning curve to opening a new business, and we've never owned a bakery. Like I said, we're not formally trained. And so I think there's a learning curve to a new business, but there's also a learning curve to owning a business in 2020. And so those are kind of blended. And I don't know what, when it's a difficult week or an obstacle to overcome, I'm not quite sure where that's coming from. But if we're ever blessed enough to open up another location, it should be a cakewalk compared to 2020. That's all I got.
A sourdough walk. Yes.
Yes.
So Meriann, I'm lucky enough to live right around the corner from your bakery. And this makes me so happy, because the fact that you guys have done this and taken the leap, and you're not formally trained bakers and you're just going for it and digging right in, that gives me life. I actually recently started trying to bake sourdough myself, and I'm telling you, it is not easy. It takes a lot of heart, a lot of time, a lot of feeding of that starter. I have failed at the starter thing twice, so I'm kind of about to move on to my third. So you're pouring a lot of love and a lot of care into all this bread, which is one of the many things that probably makes it different than your typical sourdough bread. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things you guys have on offer, because Rosie, I'm pretty sure we got the same stuff, and I know you're eyeing one special thing there.
I know you know that I'm looking at that cinnamon roll.
Because Meriann, you have the cinnamon roll.
You know what the people want. You made such a large cinnamon roll. This is what the people crave.
Yeah, it took us a while to finally give in to make some sweet items in the menu. We just love our bread. We love it plain, flour, salt, water. We use organic flours. We like to highlight the natural flavors in the bread process itself. So we don't use a bunch of proofers. We don't use extra yeast or dough conditioners or anything to speed up the process, because that tends to just hide the natural flavor. So we jumped into cinnamon rolls after enough people came in and said, do you have donuts? Do you have cinnamon rolls? And we make some cookies. We branched out into some sourdough brioche burger buns. We make 100% sourdough rye, which, as you can see here, is just like your dark, dense, European style loaf that is, it's really, really good. And then, like I said, we've got our classic white sourdough that just uses an organic all-purpose flour, water, and salt. And we make those in a couple different shapes, as we'll get into. But then since all of this craziness hit, we took the front of our bakery that used to be a lot of sit-down dining, and we actually turned it into a local farmers market style convenience store. So we went back to the farmers markets that we were working at for about a year. We went to all of our favorite vendors and we started carrying their items in the store. So we have milk, farm fresh eggs, yogurts, cheeses, pepperonis, coffees, olive oils, kombucha, cheeses, jellies, most things that go well with bread, but a couple items that are just really handy to have in a convenient style location without having to schlep to the farmer's market on Saturday between 4 hours. So,
well, and I want to make sure that we go back to one of those dairy products, because this is actually one that you guys make. It's the goat toast spread. And
yes,
Mary,
I made toast right next to me.
I can't speak highly enough about it. Do not sleep on this spread. Will you tell us a little bit about what's in it?
Yes. Okay. So this is one of our, this came about when we were working at the farmers markets, and we had people that would come to us at the farmers market that had just bought some goat cheese at another vendor, and they said, what loaf would go really good with this goat cheese? And so we kind of had to go and taste all their goat cheeses to tell them which ones to pair. And it was actually fun for a few months to see which items pair with other vendors. And so as we were building this space out, we knew that we wanted to offer some toast on the menu as well. And this is one that we had in our mind. We knew that we wanted to use goat toast or goat cheese from a local source. So we use goat cheese. There's honey that's local. There's dried black figs that are local. There's pecans that are local, salt and pepper, and it is just, it's our favorite. It is something that we eat pretty often.
It is indulgent. It tastes great.
You can have it here in the bakery, but we also decided to sell it in a package so you can take it home and make toast in your pajamas. You don't have to schlep to the bakery.
In your office, no problem.
Smart woman.
In your office, yes.
Well, and we wanted to make sure, Meriann, that we got into the bread bowl, the carb lover's dream, because this is a great day for it, quite frankly, with things cooling down. So we're taking some of your classic white sourdough, and you've actually got a little methodology to get in there and make like the perfect bread bowl.
Yes, so we sell these bread bowls. They're smaller than our normal large loaves, but we make them with our classic white recipe. So again, it's organic all-purpose flour, water, and salt. And this is most similar to the taste that you would find in San Francisco. So you're going to take one of these bread bowls, and I don't use a bread knife. I just use a little knife, and I kind of cut into the top in a circle like you're carving the top off of a pumpkin, like the lid.
I'll get a little practice.
I kind of angle it in. And this is something that I really recommend for moms and dads to do right before dinner when you've got your kids climbing up your legs, that they're really hungry and they can't wait for dinner. So you cut the top off there and you'll have a little cone pyramid. And then you set this down in front of your kid and you say, okay, you have to use your hands and pick out all the inside. So you've got some time to get the rest of dinner together. And then you just use your hands, pick it all out. And then when you're done, each person has their own bread bowl that's ready for dinner. So
this was way easier than I thought. I mean,
yes.
this sourdough is beautiful on the inside, and I'm going to get my little paws in there and start digging it out,
Yes.
Stephanie. What about
you?
This is also great for parties to hold dips in. A lot of people will buy these if it's not soup season. If it's a little bit too warm, you don't want a soup. You grab one of these, do the same carving, put a dip in, put this in the middle of a platter, and it just makes a beautiful server.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Meriann, can we talk a little bit about what you do with the insides of the bread bowl? Is there anything creative that you love to do with that?
I normally just eat them, but when I have my kids, but that's their, when it's the witching, I've got 3 little kids. So when it's dinner time, this is something for them to snack on and do that keeps them entertained for maybe 10 or 15 minutes while I'm getting the last finishing touches on dinner. You could maybe make a pile of them on a plate in the table. And so use that to dip in your soup and just kind of everybody for themselves, or you can just put them on the side of your plate. So
love it. I'm tucking in now. It's so good.
I'm overwhelmed with deliciousness around me, Meriann. I cannot wait to tuck in even more. I've got toast, cookies, bread bowls, carb comas coming up, you guys. But Meriann, thank you so much. I will for sure be a regular since you're right around the corner. We wish you guys all the best of luck here in Round Rock, okay? Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Have a great day.
Now, Sanford Bakery is located in Round Rock, and they also sell their baked goods at several local farmers markets. To learn more about them or to place an order, go online to sanfordbakery.com.